rolling it tonight with fishing reports, aren't we? Welcome everybody to another segment of the Fishing Channel's Regional Fishing Report. And we have the Beastmaster, I call him Beastmaster, Captain Walleye Pete with us tonight. Super excited. Let's bring him in.
Beastmaster? Beastmaster?
You are a Beastmaster. You're part of my Beastmaster list.
I like that. I like that a lot. That's cool. Well, thanks for bringing me in.
I'm excited. Well, you do not miss a beat. You had a split hose issue on your boat.
Yes.
You had COVID, and you are still top of the list for charter captains on the bay. You do not skip a beat. I saw some great size striped bass on your Facebook. So thank you for joining us. I'm really excited.
Hey, my pleasure. I had to miss 3 days of work, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So I'm working tomorrow, but but I'm back to work. But I hated not working, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Symptoms weren't that bad, but you can't go to work when you got that. So I had to stay home.
Yeah, that's true. How are you feeling?
I'm great. All good. Fever gone. I am excited to fish tomorrow. I'm launching at 5:30. I'm going to go crush some early morning shallow water, top water stuff tomorrow morning right away.
That's exciting. Well, we'll know you always crush it, so that's without a doubt. I love the shirt that you're wearing, by the way. I'm sporting my classic The Fishing Channel, one of the originals, but I love yours.
I pulled it out of the dresser, and I'm wearing it tomorrow. It's a part of my rotation. I can't wear it every day.
Yeah. Yes.
But yeah.
Well, thank you for including us in your rotation. It is an honor. And anyone who's looking to purchase the shirt that Captain Walleye Pete is wearing is our Rock the Bay shirt. You can go to thefishingchannel.net to purchase yours. They are available for men and women. So definitely get yours today. We are rolling already. Here we go. Thank you. So let's get right into it. What do you have to share what's going on mid-bay in the Chesapeake Bay?
Well, mid-bay in the Chesapeake Bay, well, the redfish kind of scattered out. So there's a scattered redfish here and there. I know that a scattered redfish has been getting caught up north. The charter boats that are trolling, when they troll all day or whatever part of the day, and they cover lots of good ground, they've been picking up some reds, although the light tackle guys like me have been struggling on the giant reds. But I'm starting to pick up the pace in the shallow water, so I'm kind of happy about that. When I have easterly wind, I like easterly wind, and I like overcast and rain. Mm-hmm. So before I got the virus, I had some of those conditions, and I did well with it, except for Sunday. Sunday was I chose to fish on Sunday. It was blowing very nastily out of the east. And according to my record and my journal that I keep, and just my memory and all that good stuff, I thought for sure I was going to have good conditions over there water-wise, which is clarity. You know me, and I fish conditions. Yes. I got over there, and the conditions were good. The water was clear enough to catch fish. I had high water. I like that. And I couldn't find any fish over there. It was very fewsies and not even twosies. I mean, I caught one here, I caught one there, and I ended up catching quite a few back on the west side. But overall, I was very disappointed. But anyway, with that said, the very next day, I did a whole different animal, and the weather was totally different, and I crushed it. So, it's one of those things. It was a tough day, and it happens. But overall, though, it's been getting better in the skinny water. The water temps have dropped. And that's kind of what drives my game over there. Water temperature dropping, and water conditions have to be clear. There has to be enough water, and there's got to be current. Yes. But anyway, that's what I've been doing. And also the bluefish have moved in nicely with size. I've caught a lot of big bluefish lately, and, that's fun. I mean, it's rod benders. If guys want to smoke some bluefish, then catching some of those is great. But the redfish, but they can happen tomorrow. That's how that is.
Right. Yeah, we're getting good reports. Captain Tom Weaver was on with us earlier, also talking about the bluefish and great sizes that are coming. Yeah. Before we get into questions and get deeper into the fishing report, I just want to let everybody know that we do have a question of the evening again, where you can win. And obviously it is Captain Walleye Pete's choice on who wins. But our sponsors, GI Jig and BKD. We have a 1/2 ounce rain minnow, and we have some BKD lures here. I think they are, yep, 6-inch glitter. Ooh.
Well, just like mine.
Oh,
Except mine aren't glitter.
there you go. So, you know, I follow what Captain Pete would use. So I recommend definitely getting one of those. So we are going to roll right into a quick question here, though. Dave McCullough says, is shallow water over your head? Okay.
I'm guessing that individual doesn't seem very smart, but but anyway, no, I'm just kidding.
It's all in love.
Shallow water is definitely over my head in many places, because shallow to me is 3 to 6 feet, and 6 feet's way over my head. So yes, it is, Dave. Thank you for that. That's a great question.
Yes, it is. CL Marshall. Thank you. What's your favorite topwater bait?
Favorite topwater bait? You know, back in the day, I used to love stillwater smackets, and I still do, but I don't have them anymore because I just don't have easy access to them. So currently, I've got one right here, and guess what? It's demolished. The hooks are horrific.
Oh, wow.
So I brought a bunch of lures home to fix. So this one's on the fix-it list, but it's all beat up, and it's got hooks that are rusted, so I'm changing them out with single hooks. But anyway, it's a storm chug bug. You know, if I had only 30+ pound stripers, I would go with bigger ones. But these catch big stripers, and they catch specks. Specks love to eat these. I've caught giant specks on a storm chug bug. It rattles. It may, you know, and it pops nice. I can walk the dog with it, or I can pop it. So that's it right there.
That's a good one. Did you use that for your trip with Carlo? I see on your Facebook page you got a pretty good size striped bass, and he's cooking you breakfast. What's going on there?
That was not breakfast. That was calamari. I can't remember the name of it, but it was some exotic Italian wild boar, and we had good old fashioned crazy ass ribeye. The ribeye was great. So he did catch that. He caught that large fish on a storm chug bug. He did catch it on a chug bug.
Okay, awesome. Well, we are getting flooded in with questions. This is exciting. Good. So Keith Griffith, who's watching us from YouTube. Hi, Keith. You always talk about shallow water fishing. Do fish hold in these same shallow water areas all year long, fall, winter? The Weed Man.
Okay, well, that's a very good question.
Yes.
And winter? No, not in the winter. Okay, when the water, here's the short answer. When the water is 50 and above, I start to see stripers in shallow, and when the water is above 80, stripers really thin out. Really start about 75, they really thin out. But the water was over 80 this summer, and I still caught big stripers in shallow, but not that many of them. So the numbers thin out when the water gets warm, and the numbers thin out when the water gets cold. But overall, 50 to 80 degrees, but definitely I don't get them below 50. I get them above 80, but definitely not below 50. So below 50 would be anytime in like early November, mid-November, all the way. You know, I actually had over 50 degrees in mid-December a couple of times. So it changes, but that's the deal though. 50 degrees and below, forget about it. Over 80 can be real slow, unless, and did he say stripers or stripers and specks?
Just fish in general. Yeah.
Oh, fish in general. Well, the only fish I catch over there are stripers and specks mainly, and redfish. We just don't have many in those shallows. Every once in a while, we might get some. So who knows? So anyway, 50 to 80 degrees.
Really good question. All right, Carl. Again, Carl Ward. What's your favorite lure to put in newbies' hands? Great question. Someone that has never really fished before.
I love that question, Carl.
Yeah?
Carl Ward, that is a really good. So I'm going to answer that with a newbie that hasn't fished. It's I don't like putting crankbaits in their hand because that's got lots of hooks on it. Surface plugs. You got to learn to pop it. But if I had to have a lure, I love BKDs, but it's a straight tail, and with a newbie, you got to work the BKD. So for anybody with experience, the BKD is awesome. But what I've got, and I wanted to show these, is this paddle tail right here. I use different types of paddle tails. Okay, I love my BKDs, but I love paddle tails. So a newbie with a paddle tail, I even got one that rattles. Be real quiet. Let's see if we can hear it.
I hear it.
Did you? Okay, here's what it is. It's a, and that's a great question because I wanted to show these. I'm up there, but knock and tail. Look at that one right there. I don't know if you can put that up, but it's yeah, knock and tail lures and they're paddles. I just started trying these, and they have worked well. So they're what I like about them is they're long and slender, and they got a great paddle. So the lure paddle's good. It's got that rattle, which is cool. And it works. So that would be it for me right there. That would be the question right there.
Wow.
That's the answer to it. A paddle tail. And I like that paddle tail.
Yeah, if it works for Captain Walleye Pete, grab it up. Grab it up.
Yep.
More questions? No, we're good? Okay. Well, we can roll right into continuing on with the fishing report.
Scott has kind of a question, a comment.
Oh, we have a question comment from Scott. Hi, Scott. Captain, just curious, when you say shallow water, especially regarding trout, I have personally had a great year on trout. He has. I've seen the photos.
Yeah, I've
been
seen him
doing.
too.
Yeah, he's been doing really well. I've been doing well since June, and I have found them in 8 inches to 2 feet of water.
Okay, I typically don't fish that because I've got a boat that's a little too big for that.
Yeah.
So is he doing it from shore, or is he doing it from a kayak, or does he have an extremely shallow draft boat? And what state? You know, I mean, if he's doing it in Maryland, I'm going to start getting shallower. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Because here's one thing I know, I don't know. So you know, guys on my boat, you know, if I'm not catching, I have a lot of answers, but they're not always the right answer. But I'm always willing to learn. So Scott, if you're catching them in 8 inches to 2 feet in Maryland, that's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. And you know, I have not caught them that shallow. I've caught them in troughs and you know, little drop offs coming out of coves from 2 feet down to 5, 6 feet. Grass beds 4 feet and above. I have caught them real shallow in grass before, but not consistently. But anyway, yeah, I've seen his picks. That's cool.
Yeah, he's doing a really good job. So Keith, Carl, and Scott, great questions. So let's keep on rolling with the fishing report. Time is creeping on us. So what else do you got, Captain?
So time is creeping. What do you mean?
Oh, we are at 7:45. So probably around 7:50, we're gonna see which questions for the evening. So
what else do I got for you? Well, what I'm looking forward to is these lowering temperatures are going to be driving me shallow for longer during the day. Currently, when the water it just got below 80. So when it's below 80, I feel confident that I can start to catch more consistently in shallow. When it's above 80 and sunny, I don't like fishing in there unless there's a lot of specks. Currently, in the part of the bay that I fish, you know, from say Smith Island up to Chop Tank, I haven't had hardly any specks lately. So I'm hoping that the cooling waters move specks around and maybe I'll see some more. But the main thing about specks, those suckers are migratory. They don't live here. Those guys down in Virginia, I'm so jealous of because those specks live there. You know, Carolina, they live there. We're at the mercy of, are they going to swim up to our water and swim enough in numbers so that we can catch them? So I had a decent early season on them, but now, I mean, they just haven't been around. So with that said, you know, I'll be concentrating on my stripers in shallow. I'll be looking for the reds in the open bay, along with a wayward catch and release cobia if we see any. And also specks like to get on 10 to like deeper structure, sometimes around lighthouses. I know up north, you know, they get them on some of those lighthouses. I get them on some lighthouses down my way. I also get them, you know, the target ship can happen. Lumps, bumps, and humps down that way. Specks can happen, and they're always big when you catch them down there on those lumps that are 14 to 16 feet of water, surrounded by 20, 22 feet. I catch a lot of big specks down there historically. You know, every day I don't catch them, but every so often you get on there and give it a shot, and my God, you can catch some awful big specks doing that. Yeah.
We got another question, Carl. When do you expect to see some puppy drum, Pete?
Well, let me pull this crystal ball out of my pocket, and I don't know when we'll ever see puppy drum because the one time that we had a lot of puppy drum, that was an anomaly. That doesn't happen all the time.
Mhm.
We don't have enough global warming yet for puppy drum to be consistent and reliable. I think in the Potomac they've got more, and then south of there they have more, but we just don't have them in our water in any numbers. It could happen next year. I don't know how it happens, but it only happened one year where there was a bunch of them, and then the next year there was still quite a few because those puppy drum grew into big puppy drum, and then they grew into migratory redfish.
Mhm.
So we only had them 2 years. And then after that, it's kind of, it's just, there are some small drum around, but not enough to say so.
Right. Oh, Scott, another question. Pete, yes, Maryland and small boat. He has one, yes. Some rock piles in 5 to 6 feet, and they have hit or missed grass up, tight in water areas behind the point with a lot of grass. A lot of grass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Yeah.
He's just doing it better than me because lately I haven't done crap. I did good early, but and again, in all fairness, I haven't done it a lot. So in the next week or two, I'll be fishing a lot more in shallow. So I hope that Scott's pattern will come into play into my water.
Yeah, I think Scott is upper where Baltimore area, and he does have that boat of his, and
Yeah.
he's actually seen video of him walking into the water as he's fishing. So he's doing it all.
He's a fishing freak. There's no
Yes.
doubt about that.
Yes,
Yeah.
for sure. Do we have any more questions? No, we're good. Okay, so we're getting into fall. Temperatures are dropping. We have a lot of viewers who aren't from this area. If they're interested in coming this area to schedule a charter with Four Seasons with Captain Walleye Pete, which we recommend, what kind of fish can we expect coming in and out of the bay now that fall is upon us and temperatures dropping and seasons are changing?
Well, bluefish can still happen until the water gets quite a bit cooler in the main stem of the bay. So bluefish can happen. Spanish Max will be moving out. Redfish, I caught one November 8th or 9th last year.
Oh, wow.
That's just one. So I didn't really catch them in November. I caught one. But redfish can still happen. But the main theme is going to be striped bass. And then anything other than that, like specks right now. Maybe specks will get good. But rockfish, and in the skinny water where I'm fishing, it's exciting. Surface plugging, BKDs with light jig heads, the paddle tails. Those kind of things work really, really good. It's fast action, lots of action on light tackle, and it's a blast. So it's really cool. I fished Florida for 3 years, and I like my inshore water up here better than the Florida inshore water where I fished, only because of all the crowds there. The specks were small, and there was too many people down there. But anyway, I caught fish, but I like my skinny, remote, pretty stuff up here.
So Captain Walleye Pete charters out of the Chesapeake Bay, and also in what part of Florida?
I'm not going there next year. I'm staying here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'll be spec fishing in April here.
Okay. So if somebody wants to schedule a charter with you, how do they do that?
They can text me or call me at 703-395-9955. Or they can go to my fishing page on Facebook, which is Four Seasons Guide Service, and all my my numbers and stuff's available there. Also, wallyepete.com still has my information. I just have been dumb and not active on there, so I don't have new content, but all my my information's all there.
All right. Well, call, text, reach out to Captain Walleye Pete as soon as possible, because I'm sure that he books up pretty fast. Definitely worth the charter. I had the pleasure of being on Captain Walleye Pete's boat, and he is just a wealth of knowledge, just an amazing fisherman, a really great gentleman, and I just had a really great time, and I learned so much. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
So Shore Shop says, great show as always, guys. Thank you. So we're going to choose question of the evening. If you can remember some of the names, who did we have? We had Keith Griffin, Carl World, Scott Kem, who hasn't won yet on our show. And yeah, those are the ones we've had.
Yeah, well, you mean you're not going to count Dave McCollum's question?
If you wanna.
No, he's no matter what, he's the last place champ. So in everything, he is the last place champ. But anyway, no.
Who is it going to be?
Carl Ward. I like that question.
Oh, Jiminy Crickets, Carl, you're sucking us dry.
Why did Carl win again?
He did. I think that's fair since we haven't really
Carl's won 4
had.
times.
He's won a lot. I think I just have envelopes ready with his address to roll out. But he has great questions.
I like this question. And I didn't know the inside info, or else I might have.
It's okay. We want to make it fair.
Elbowed me, I might not have picked them just for you. But no, Carl, that was a great question, and yeah, I appreciate it.
Yes. What do you think, Crazy Horse? Can we give a prize to all 3 questions?
What 3 questions?
We had Keith, who had asked a question from YouTube, and we have Scott, who had some really great comment questions.
We got Scott, Carl, and Keith. All get a prize.
All right, awesome. So
wow.
We're going to give all 3.
All right.
So Keith, if you can reach out to us on Facebook, the Fishing Channel, or email us at admin@thefishingchannel.net so we can make sure that we have your address and contact information. Everybody else we know how to get a hold of. So I wanted to thank everyone for joining in. Any last golden nuggets that you can share of your wisdom about fishing or anything else you want to leave us with, Captain?
Yes, something I'm highly intrigued with.
Yes.
World records.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm inspired by the fly caught world record.
Yes.
By your prior guy.
Yes.
And I think that's going to be doable for boats. Something I did when I was a little kid that I absolutely loved. I used to snag carp, and I used to do it with a salmon rod strung up with 4-pound test. And these carp were pigs without legs. They were huge. Wow. And I would do it with 4-pound test. And I want to catch a giant red on 4-pound test. And I bet you that might be a world record. If we can, get the boat next to one of these schools of giant reds like he did. And he got his fly guy onto a giant. I mean, that's amazing and way cool.
Wow. Yes.
I'm inspired. I think I want to do that next year. I'm going to try.
Maybe you can include that in a segment of your annual seminars.
Yeah. Well, yeah, maybe. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, I got to start thinking about those seminars. Those are coming up soon.
Yeah, it's amazing. So, if anyone gets a chance to sit on Captain Walleye Pete's seminars, I definitely recommend it. I enjoyed it. Just a wealth of information as always.
I'll be ready to be putting that out there a little bit by next month. I guarantee you that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Right. So thank you again so much. Really appreciate you. Thanks everyone for joining in and your amazing questions. Tune in for our next segment with Crazy Horse on our next regional fishing report. Until then, have a good night, Captain. Fish on, everybody.
Adios.
Bye-bye.
Just hang around. Too proud to be your